This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the 2019 edition of the HP Envy 13. With a name like Envy, you get the idea. It's kind of a nice laptop, but it's not that nice that it's going to destroy your budget completely, because the Envy line sits above the HP Pavilion line, but below the HP Spectre line, which is their most expensive. So we're talking an aluminum chassis, very light build, attractive laptop that starts at $750. We're going to look at it now. So what do you get for that $750 starting price? Well, you get a pretty good deal. It's a Core i7 quad-core, 15-watt Ultrabook CPU inside Whiskey Lake, so latest generation. No matter which price tier you buy it, you're getting that Core i7 8565U. Good that. It has 8 gigs of RAM at DDR4, and it has a 256 gig NVMe SSD. That base model we're talking about, full HD non-touch display. If you want touch, add on $40. $50. It's worth it, totally, I think. I like touchscreens. This is a traditional clamshell, however. It's not a 360-degree rotating one with a pen and tablet mode and all that sort of thing. So up to you as to whether you feel like you need touch. And if you want to go up to 4K, that's about $150 more, and we happen to have the 4K display on board. So you also get a white backlit keyboard. This is a sandblasted aluminum casing on the laptop. Looks classy. You got your choice between silver and a kind of pale gold look. Microsoft Precision Trackpad. Finally, HP was a little late to that game. I know that many of you are going to be happy about that. And it is so thin that it actually has drop down, the draw drop style USB-A ports. It's too thin for regular USB-A. So instead of going with what the Dell XPS 13 does, which is, okay, we're too thin, so you're only getting USB-C and Thunderbolt 3, not the most convenient thing, dongle life and all that, you're still getting USB-A ports here. You also get a micro SD card slot, and you have a USB-C port that supports a display out. You can use it with USB-C hubs, but sadly no Thunderbolt 3. But given the price tag of this model, hey, I'm okay with that. You can get a really nicely configured one with 16 gigs of RAM and all that sort of thing. You can spend about $1,200, get yourself a touchscreen and all that, and you're still going to be paying several $100s less than competition, which would be the Razer Blade Stealth and the Dell XPS 13 and even the Lenovo IdeaPad S940. With a little special sauce that the Razer Blade Stealth also has. It's available with the NVIDIA MX250 dedicated GPU. Now that's a low-end GPU that's great for helping your photo editing a little bit, your video editing, and making older games enjoyable, like Skyrim and BioShock Infinite, that sort of thing. You're not going to be playing, Battlefield 5 on this or something like that, but still, that's nice, and that's like a $20 upcharge from that base model, so it doesn't really cost you very much. Neat, yeah. Now, it does have an NVMe SSD. It's not the fastest kit on the block, but in this price range, which is their middle, just beginning of premium tier, it's okay. Everyday use, you really can't tell the difference between a fast NVMe SSD and a really fast premium NVMe SSD unless you really push your machine hard. Most Ultrabook 13.3-inch Ultrabook users do not push their laptops super hard. That's what gaming laptops are for in mobile workstations. Another nice thing it has that HP is into these days is a hardware webcam kill switch for those of you who are feeling paranoid about who might be trying to watch you against your will. And it's a physical hardware switch, so it actually disconnects that camera. So no software hacking can bypass that sort of thing. It does not turn up the microphones, however. Keyboard on this is pleasant enough. It has good key travel, good tactile feel. HP does a good job with their keyboards, generally speaking. It might not be the best of the best ThinkPad kind of feel, but it has a lot of tactile feel on it. And again, that Microsoft Precision Trackpad is definitely a plus, and it's a nice big roomy trackpad as well. So what's not so good about this? I mean, we have the nearly borderless edge-to-edge display. You have your nice full HD and the 4K display options. Well, it's a pain to open this up. Now, there's a whole lot of people who never open up their laptop. And if you're one of those people, well, consider this laptop. But if you're the kind of person who does like to tinker, open it up and upgrade your SSD later because you discover you need higher capacity or you do want a faster drive or swap out your Wi-Fi card or something. Though this is a good Intel 9560 AC Wi-Fi card, I doubt you're going to want to swap it. But it's a pain to open this up, mostly because it has those rubber strips along the bottom, just like HP does with the Spectre series. And you have to peel those off to get to the remaining screws that hold the bottom on. Once you do that, it's easy to get the bottom off. But these strips are designed to basically sort of the adhesive self-destructs on it. Though there are laptops that have rubber strips and rubber feet and they come off easily, they go back on easily. These you will probably want to source replacements or spend a lot of time being very careful trying to get that off, which means that we're not going to be showing you the internals on this, sorry to say. And HP generally asks us not to open up Spectres and Envies because, yeah, we'll munge up that rubber stuff fast. If you do happen to get inside there, well, the SSD is a standard M.2 SSD, and the RAM is soldered on, so you can't upgrade that after the fact anyway. So order it with what you want. You can get it with either 8 or 16 gigs of DDR4 2400 megahertz RAM. So how about heat and noise? This is a thin metal Ultrabook, powerful enough, NVIDIA MX250 graphics. Not bad at all. HP does have their thermal profile, so you can set it to run cooler and quieter or max it out and all that sort of thing. So just using their default balance thing. This has a small fan inside. It's not going to ever make that much noise, but it doesn't get all hot and bothered. And it doesn't, generally speaking, get too hot to touch. Now, it'll get toasty on the bottom, certainly, and above the keyboard area where you don't typically touch, but really the thermals are pretty well controlled. We have the 4K touchscreen option. That's the highest you can go. Like I said, it's a $140 upcharge from the base price non-touch display. And it's a nice enough display. It's surprisingly bright. Often 4K displays, particularly with HP, we've noticed they used to run them less bright because they were trying to save your battery life, because 4K does consume more power than does a full HD display. The rest of the metrics are good. This is your typical, covers all of sRGB and about 75% of Adobe RGB. You can see the exact metrics on screen. It's a nice enough looking screen, and typical for HP, it is glossy and it has plenty of reflections. Battery life on this, well, it has a 53 watt-hour battery, which is healthy, which is average for your premium Ultrabook, and a 65 watt fast charger, so it charges up a bit faster. So battery life on this will depend on whether you get the full HD or the 4K display option. We have the 4K display option, and in our productivity and streaming video test, with brightness set to 150 nits, we averaged about 7 hours, which is pretty good for a 4K display. And we're not trying hard to manage power there. Wi-Fi is on and active and all that sort of thing. If you got the full HD display, no doubt you could probably add about 2 hours onto that, which is good stuff. The laptop has a fingerprint scanner, and it has pretty good Bang & Olufsen branded quad speakers, which is a thing that HP's been doing. So you got 2 on the bottom, you have 2 on the top. Makes a lot of sense to have 4 when you've got a convertible, so they fire in any which direction. Again, this is not a convertible, but still, it makes for a nice, loud sound with, relatively speaking, for this size laptop, pretty good bass. So that's the 2019 HP NV13. Certainly a lot of laptop for your money in terms of what you get, not in terms of size and weight, because it's very thin and very light. I like it a lot. I like the price on this. If you can live without Thunderbolt 3, that is, which I think a lot of people still can. USB-C offers enough versatility, display out hubs, and all that sort of thing. Yeah. Well done, HP. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and thumbs up if you like this vid.